We ready, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. We'll go ahead and call the regular meeting of the East Peoria City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Mingus.
Here.
Sutherland.
Here.
Mayor Call.
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the pledge.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and every day that you give us. During this time of great vision, we thank you for bringing us together in this moment. We ask that you stir our hearts and minds, be kind to one another, help us put aside our agendas and work together in harmony. Reveal to us new things about ourselves and each other as we grow closer. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the minutes, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move the minutes of the regular meeting held on September 2nd, 2025 be approved as printed.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Mingus.
Aye.
Sutherland.
Aye.
Mayor Call.
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried. All right. Under communications, I do have 3 proclamations this evening. The first, whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law. And whereas September 17, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by I'll get my mouth working here. Vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties. So we started this proclamation last year when the Daughters of America Revolution came forward and asked for it. And I just explained to the city clerk I'd like to continue doing that every year. So I think it's important to recognize that. All right, next up. Whereas all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and all U.S. territories require the use of car seats for children traveling in motor vehicles. And whereas car seat laws were enacted because they save lives and prevent injuries. And whereas the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that car seats reduce the risk of fatal injury to infants and toddlers by 71% in passenger cars. And whereas injury potentially could be avoided by the proper installation and use of car seats according to age and weight of the child. And whereas educating parents and caregivers about the best ways to keep children safe while traveling in vehicles, no matter how short or long the trip, can work toward eliminating these preventable deaths and injuries. And whereas parents and caregivers are encouraged to participate in car seat safety checks, such as the ones conducted from 1 until 4 p.m. on the first Wednesday of each month at the East Peoria Fire Department Central Station, to make sure their children are in the right car seats for their age and size, and that the seats are installed correctly. Now therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, do hereby proclaim September 21st through the 27th of 2025 as Child Passenger Safety Week, and call upon all citizens to help reduce injuries and the tragic loss of life by buckling up their little crumb crunchers every time, every trip. So, Commissioner, I'll hand that off to you if you want to present that to the chief and Might as well get a little plug in for
Yeah,
that.
one of the many services the fire department offers is the car seat checks. I just encourage everybody, if they need to get a car seat checked or double check that it's installed correctly, to stop by Central House from 1 to 4, first Wednesday of the month.
Very good. Including,
What? Yeah,
what's the next one?
it would be first Wednesday of October, and we do stop doing it during the winter months. So something to do in the next couple of months if you want to get it checked.
Very good. All right. Third proclamation. Whereas energy efficiency is the cheapest, quickest, and cleanest way to meet East Peoria's energy needs, avoid dangerous pollution, and reduce utility bills for residents and businesses in our community. And whereas smarter energy use reduces the amount of electricity needed to power our lives, which helps avoid power emissions and makes our homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. And whereas cutting energy waste saves U.S. households billions of dollars on the utility bills every year. And whereas a nationwide network of energy efficiency groups and partners has designated the first Wednesday in October as National Energy Efficiency Day. And whereas together we can contribute to our sustainability efforts by learning more about energy efficiency and practicing smarter energy use in our daily lives. And now, therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, as Energy Efficiency Day in East Peoria, and encourage all citizens to join us in moving toward more energy efficiency now and in the future. And this goes in line with a lot of things that the city has done throughout the last 20 years, making a lot of our facilities upgrade to a lot more energy efficiency means. Anything you want to add to that, Commissioner?
No, at this point, we've done a lot, replacing furnaces and making sure the buildings are as energy efficient as we can, and so we're at a good spot in our existence. We don't have solar on any facilities, but again, making the facilities we have energy efficient has been a target at least the last decade or more.
Very good. All right, appreciate that. All right, public comment. Anyone wish to address the council on an agenda item? Please step forward. And I'm seeing no one. Commissioner Hill, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a consent agenda consisting of items numbered 1 and 2. Item number 1, adoption of resolution number 2526-057, resolution to approve payment of the schedule of bills listed on schedule number 9 in the amount of $2,119,238.88. Item number 2, adoption of resolution number 2526-048. On its second reading, resolution approving purchase of gym equipment for the new police station from Pure Fitness Innovations, as listed on the agenda for this meeting to be considered by omnibus vote.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that items numbered 1 through 2 listed on the consent agenda be hereby approved and adopted, and item number 2, having been read once by its title and having laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection, be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, I have a few items tonight. Mr. Mayor, I move you that ordinance number 4870, here to attach, ordinance approving a jurisdictional boundary line agreement between the City of East Peoria and the Village of Morton, be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
I'll give Ty a chance, but what we've got here, many people may or may not know that jurisdictionally, the municipality has the right to annex or grow within 1.5 miles of its city borders. And we've got agreements with Washington.
Washington, yeah.
And we had a former agreement with Morton, and I think it expired, or no?
No, we've never had one.
Okay. So we've got an agreement here defining the area that, or an area that's, that would be overlapped by both of us, but the defining what we would do and what they would do in the case of an annex situation, or the area that we would look at and they would not look to expand into. So I'm going to turn it over to Ty. He's worked on this with our comprehensive plan. They go hand in hand, and that's, I may have noticed then that realized that we didn't have a boundary agreement with Morton, and so pursued that. So Ty, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Commissioner. This is one of those action items coming out of the comprehensive planning effort, and instead of waiting for that plan to be fully adopted, this is something that we took advantage of. The mayor has a great relationship with their mayor over there in the village of Morton, and it was a great opportunity to get together and kind of figure out these development agreements like we have with Washington, give communities an expectation of we're going to grow to here, we're going to grow to here, so it's great for planning infrastructure and understanding where each other's extents are going to go. In the case here, we're looking at going to Roth Road, which is kind of south and east of that Muller Pinecrest corridor, and then all the way down to 98, Route 98. So it kind of gives us a boundary with them to work with. And it's a 20-year lifespan, but it's really good for planning purposes. This is one of our few identified growth areas, and so this really makes a lot of sense, and it's good for our planning efforts and future infrastructure improvements.
And I'd just like to point out the meeting was maybe 10 minutes.
It was pretty brief.
Yeah, both communities were on the same page very quickly, so it was a great meeting. In both of our best interests to do this. We already had a boundary plan in place with an agreement in place with Washington, so this should round everything out.
Yes.
And I had encouraged, and I've shared as much in the mayor's meeting, I encourage all the communities to do the same, obviously to protect your planning boundaries moving forward and make sure everything's filled out. So,
Mayor, can I ask a quick question? Mm-hmm. That's just moving forward where we may expand, not annexing all that into the city immediately, correct? Is that?
yes.
It's really more for kind of planning that infrastructure piece. You know, when there's things that occur out in the county in this area, then there's a very definitive, this is Morton's planning area, this is East Peoria's growth area.
Okay.
And so it gives a good defining boundary.
And the good news, this will be tied into the comprehensive plan that we'll bring forward here in the coming months.
And I'd like to say that this is long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm 68 years old, and this should have been done 68 years ago.
Okay, there you have it. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-056, resolution authorizing acceptance and execution of a service agreement for the supply of electricity for the city's residential energy aggregation program be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
I think many people here in our city are familiar with our energy aggregation. And likewise, many are aware of the aggravation, not the aggregation, but the aggravation of recent energy volatility in the market. Everybody saw their bills, even within our aggregation, go from 9 cents through the early months of this year and then just flip over recently, I think with the August meter readings, to about 12.9 cents kilowatt hour. So that energy aggregation,
Oh, it's aggravating, all right.
aggregation has benefited us in the past. And there is great volatility and uncertainty in the energy market. And a lot of it, I mean, it's simple economics, supply and demand. The supply keeps getting cut from reliable energy producing means, and the supply to backfill is not there. So the demand, especially as we've heard as AI takes off, these data centers take off, they consume more and more power. So they put more and more demand on the grid and the supply. And so the demand is increasing, but we were decreasing our supply. So it's created some volatility in the market. So we go out, as everyone knows, the aggregation goes out and tries to get the best rate it can in the market. And so what we have here in front of us, we entertained looking through the lens of a different broker, or entertained a different broker here. And let me get, Twin City is who we went through to get this rate. And this rate, even though it's very attractive compared to what we're paying right now, it's going to be 0.09248 per kilowatt. We also talked with our previous broker, and their market assessment, they were right at offering about a 9.3 cents, but that's only for the next few months, 4 months. Okay.
No, 9.4.
Oh, 9.4. Yeah, I wrote in my notes 9.3, but 9.4. So the scary thing, and it's not meant to really send you into a panic, is their assessment of the market come next summer based on demand, based on capacity, that you could be looking at rates anywhere from 13 to 15 cents a kilowatt hour. And so this rate we have in front of us will start in December for 6 months, and it will secure the 9.248 kilowatt hour for energy through the winter and through half the year, for 6 months. So then we'll evaluate and see what the market is doing. Our energy broker, Twin City, will assist us in that endeavor, and we'll go out and try to find the best possible rate that we can.
Very good.
Did you have anything, Ty?
I'd say you're spot on with market volatility. And I think, one of the things that we're trying to offer to our residents is some degree of certainty. We're going to look for the best price. One thing that's different than what we've done in the past, we pointed out earlier about the energy efficiency that we've done. There was a civic fee that had been in place, and we'd utilize those funds very well and to improve a lot of components within the city. The goal here was to say, let's try to maximize the benefit to our residents. So this does not include the civic fee. So we're trying to provide some level of certainty and continue to evaluate that. This is a new broker for us. We had utilized the same broker for about 12 years. So this is trying something a little different and seeing how it plays out. But so far, this is the best rate that we could find, and we'll look to provide those opportunities for certainty. This still is an opt-out program, so if the resident does not like it, they can opt out at any time.
Very good.
I got a
Points.
question.
Yes, sir.
I guess I'm stupid because are you asking me to change my electrical supplier on the bill again, or is this something that we're doing here? We're getting a broker that's going to make recommendations, or both?
So the broker is going to provide recommendations for future purchases. There's a program that's already in place, and so if you're a part of that program right now, you would continue with it unless you decided to opt out. So when this new pricing starts in December, you would continue with it if you're already in the program.
So the city is going to publicly somehow get out to all the residents who they think that we should go to, or they're going to publicly tell what the brokers' prices are, maybe the top 3 or 4, and then we pick ourselves? How is this going to work?
No, so there's not. This has already been selected. This is the rate for December through next May. And there will be notices provided to those that are part of that program that here's what's going on. This is what's changing in December.
So if I want to do this, I need to change my electrical billing
You don't need to
supplier.
do anything unless you want to opt out of the program.
What-
So understand the current contract expires in December. So is what we had to do is go back out to renew the contract. We're using a different broker than we've used over the past, I don't know how many
Dozen
years.
years, yeah.
Dozen years. But it's the same program. So it's all we're doing is we negotiated a new rate at 9.248.
So I do nothing then?
You do
to get
nothing
this?
unless you want to opt out of the program.
I
But
think-
all this information will be pushed out to each household.
Yeah, I think his question might be, what if somebody's not a part of the program now and they want to be a part of the program? I guess two questions. How would they know if they're a part of the program? And if they're not part of, how would they know if they're part of the current program?
Right.
And if they're not part of the current program, how would they then take advantage of this program?
So that's a great question. So there is going to be information that gets pushed out in advance of this change that would allow folks that aren't part of the program to join it. Those who want to opt out can really opt out at any time, but they'll also be provided that information. The challenge with these programs is always making sure that the information that's pushed out is clear and people understand it, because I know that it does drive some amount of calls when that information goes out, and that's something we're going to have to work with Twin City. Different broker this time. We have to work with them to make sure that that information is provided out clearly so that people understand what their options are. But it's really going to be either you're in the program or you're not in the program.
But, wasn't this program, is there a permanent opt-out? I didn't really think that there was.
No, you're opted out until the next timing where the next phase starts. So if you're out of the program right now, my understanding is you can't get back into it until this next round starts.
But are you not automatically enrolled as of December? If you do not opt out, you are back in the program, because I thought that was
That's a good
one of
that's a good way to put it,
angst and pains of some people. To why do I have to opt out every year? So every year, they opt out, go to Ameren, or they go find somebody else.
And then they get brought back into the program.
That was my understanding, because that was the complaints I've heard.
We'll look to get clarity from the
Yeah.
broker, because
Yeah.
I think that's, that clear line of communication is something that needs to be there before this kicks in and everybody knows what's going on.
And it really goes to, do they have to do anything if they want to get back in?
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that being a discussion last time.
So, yeah, I think we need to
We'll make
clarify.
sure
look
we
to get
get
a
all your
clarification on that.
questions answered, get some clarification, and make sure that gets pushed out. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Whereas a vacancy exists on the East Peoria Zoning Board of Appeals as a result of member Don Tippett leaving the Zoning Board of Appeals, and whereas the Honorable Mayor John P. Call has recommended the appointment of Joel Riker to fill the vacancy on the East Peoria Zoning Board of Appeals, and whereas it is in the best interest of the city of East Peoria to confirm and approve such an appointment, that now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that the appointment by Mayor John P. Call of Joel Riker to the East Peoria Zoning Board of Appeals to fill the vacancy of such board for a term ending April 30th, 2028, be hereby confirmed and approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that resolution number 2526-052 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
So we have long-serving Don Tippett I believe, moved outside the city, and so in that capacity, he has been moved on from the board. Mayor has offered up and nominated Mr. Joel Riker to fill that void, so we lift him up and put for approval tonight for the ZBA.
Yeah, and Joel's here with us in the audience. Some may recognize him. He worked with the city for a number of years before he went to work for Precision Planning, but he's offered to step up, and we appreciate your service and your willingness to step up. Thank Don for his years of service. Pleasure getting to know him personally, and he did a phenomenal job on there, so congratulations to both, and thank you both. Any other discussion?
I'd like to say, Mayor, first of all, thank you for taking part of this. It's not always easy to be part of a board like that, because they're not always popular with everybody. So I do appreciate it. I've been friends with Don for quite a while. We've been band parents together, and I talked with Don a little bit when he had decided to move out of town, but certainly did a great job, and thank him for his service.
Very good. Any other discussion?
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
All right. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Whereas Robert Cole has been continuously employed by the city from November 29th, 2004 through the end of day on September 5th, 2025, most recently occupying the position of Director of Buildings and Inspections, whereas Robert Cole announced his intention to retire from employment effective on September 5th, 2025, and whereas the city is appreciative of the long service and long and continued service provided by Robert Cole, and whereas it is in the best interest of the city to execute the attached separation agreement, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, that Section 1, the above recitals are found to be true and correct. Section 2, the mayor is hereby authorized to execute the separation agreement and such changes as the mayor, and within his sole discretion, may decide are in best interest of the City of East Peoria. Mr. Mayor, I move you that the resolution number 2526 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
All right, this was a day that I was regretting for a few years. I knew it was coming. Robert has served in the capacity of facilities director since I've taken office, and not only that, he was also supervisor or oversaw the code enforcement. And I've asked him many times to try to mediate things when we may not have really should have been in that role, but mediate things between neighbors and try to come to a consensus. Again, he's done a lot for the city. We talked about the energy aggregation. He was actually a key player in getting that set up initially and has been the responsible person and the call taker for all those calls that come in every time we do make a change or there's questions on that program. So many years, over 20 years, like I said, he's his subject matter expert here in the city, and his skills are going to be missed. So wish him the best of luck in retirement, and after that, put that in front of, well, I guess one thing, part of his compensable hours listed, I think there's a total of 24 hours at the one installment cost of $26,271 and 46.08 cents.
Very good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
That's it for me.
All right, Commissioner, thank you. Commissioner Decker.
Sorry, Mayor, a little disorganized. I have one item tonight, resolution number 2526-051. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, the resolution number 2526-051, resolution requesting permission for temporary closure of state-maintained roadways for a public event for the Festival of Lights Parade on November 22nd, 2025 be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-051 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. We do this every year, and I was going to ask the mayor a question before the meeting, and I couldn't think of what it was. Now I just realized, remembered what it was. Mayor, maybe Scott knows. Is it a separate request for the railroad, or?
I believe it is. I'm not sure how that works. I know the state requires two different permits,
Sure.
and that's what we have in front of us tonight.
That'd be my understanding as well. The railroad is a separate request. They they run their own show, so to speak.
Yeah, I read this on Saturday, and
Yeah.
I knew there was something I was going to ask you, and that's what it was, so
Yeah, these
we'll
are
figure it
just
out.
specific to the state requirements.
That's it, Mayor, thank you.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Decker. Commissioner Sutherland.
I got two items tonight, Your Honor. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-054, a resolution accepting and approving the proposal from Cahoe Group for well number 17 rehabilitation project be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-054 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Okay, this is an unforeseen, expensive little repair that's got to be done. We're having problems with one of our wells, and it's just about $35,000. We're trying to rehabilitate it now. So this is one of the bad parts about having wells, and that is you have problems with your wells, all sorts of problems with your wells from time to time, but it's still much better than taking the water out of the river and trying to make drinking water out of water that's had theses and stuff thrown in it between here and Chicago for the last 150 years. I'm done.
Very good. We actually received 2 different bids. The other bid was $53,000, so this is the lowest responsible bidder. I believe they've done work for us before, but it is one of those necessary evils. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
The second item I have tonight, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-055, a resolution accepting and approving the proposal from Huber Technology for wastewater treatment plant number 1, sludge press repair project, be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-055 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Okay. One of the, I'm a small-time sewer contractor, been in East Peoria forever, and these treatment plants are way above my pay grade and understanding completely how they work. The press machine is exactly what it sounds like, though. And what it does is it takes the physical matter that can't be dissolved and put into the river in so many million parts per, gallon and stuff like that. And it's sludge that needs to be hauled off to the landfill right now. It used to be that we would be able to take it to farmers' fields and put on, and people's yards and put on, and it was good black dirt for people's gardens and stuff. But the more that metals were found in the sludge, and the more the PFAS is found, the least likely that is to happen anymore. So this machine is very critical, and it had a life expectancy of well longer than what it lasted. I don't know the details, but I understand that it failed because of misinterpretations of some numbers that were supposed to be put into the computer system. So this was an unexpected cost, and it's very costly. It's $96,000, and it will probably go up from there, not down, if there's anything else found wrong with it. I'm done.
Very good. Another necessary evil, part of being in the business. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
That's all that I have tonight, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Mingus.
2 items tonight, Your Honor. First item, ordinance number 4869. Mr. Mayor, I move that ordinance number 4869 here to attach an ordinance amending various provisions of the East Peoria City Code, clarifying the administrative adjudication process, it's contagious, and related penalties, be accepted on its first reading as read by its title, and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. It really is contagious. It's my understanding this is basically some housekeeping, cleaning up the code, but I'll turn it over to Scott to better explain that.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. So 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, at the request of the police department, the city implemented a administrative process for handling prosecution of ordinance violations. These would be what I consider police ordinance violations, and just broadly. And so we're 2 years on. We've had a chance now. When we put it all into writing, which was quite lengthy 2 years ago, it's, you know, we hadn't gone through the process. We didn't know exactly how it would look. Now, after a couple of years of running through this administrative process, we made some tweaks. These are mostly driven by the police department and trying to make this even more efficient. What I would point out is this has greatly reduced the amount of time my office spends in court. Almost all ordinance prosecutions are now done through this administrative process. We have a hearing every first Wednesday of the month to handle anybody who requests a hearing. So it's really streamlined that process significantly. And this does two things. One, it just tweaks the process based on the recommendations of the kind of the administrative processes, mostly, you know, how fines are paid and when they're paid and all that, as well as strengthening those payment requirements. It also adds some additional offenses that the police department wanted to add to this administrative process. So those two things are what are found in this ordinance, and it should make the process even better moving forward.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Second item, Your Honor, resolution number 2526-053. Whereas the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners of the City of East Peoria is in need of legal counsel, and whereas it is recommended to appoint Attorney Mara Mishler of Black and Brown as legal counsel for the city's Board of Fire and Police Commissioners, and whereas it is in the best interest of the City of East Peoria to confirm and approve such appointment. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that Attorney Mara Mishler of Black and Brown be hereby appointed Attorney in and for the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners of the City of East Peoria, effective October 1, 2025, payable on a fee basis, and that this resolution number 2526-053 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. It's my understanding, talking to the mayor, that the previous attorney for the Police and Fire Commission had been with us for 40 years, and the Police and Fire Commission was in need of a new attorney, and it is their recommendation to hire Attorney Mara Mishler to take that role.
Very good. Yeah, Joe Gilfillan, we had to look it up. We had to do some legwork. It was 1984 when an attorney was last appointed to represent the fire and police commissioners. And so Joe retired. He had given us notice back in like February. I think he retired in June. So we sought qualifications from a couple different firms, and the commissioners recommend Mara and the firm of Black and Brown. So that's what's before us, and I fully support this appointment. Any discussion?
I've got one question. Is it typical that you hire a legal outside of the city?
Yes.
City attorney?
Yeah, because you don't want conflict of interest. So,
Just want to protect Scott's
Yeah.
job.
For instance, the fire chief may be seeking an act on an employee. Police and Fire Commission takes that on, but they wouldn't want the city's attorney to take that. They want a separate legal counsel. So just covering the Fire and Police Commission.
good question. And that was part of our struggle. Yeah, because this there's not a lot of work involved in talking to different law firms, including getting advice from Scott and Miller Hall and Triggs. You know, that was the challenge in finding anyone that was willing to take on this additional work, because it's kind of a small amount. and a lot of firms are busy. So, anyway, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Very good, thank you. Public comment, anyone wish to address the council on a non-agenda item? Please step forward. I'm seeing no one. Comments from the council. Commissioner Decker.
I hate to bring up the topic, but I feel, I don't know, we should say something. I think probably, minus Morgan, I think I probably disagreed with everybody up here since I've been on the city council. I don't think I've ever disagreed with Morgan. But what we saw last week was horribly tragic. To think that someone speaking out about his beliefs, whether you agree or disagree with someone, no one should be met with violence like that. So it's terrible, and I appreciate the ability to debate with my colleagues and not be fearful of anything like that. And it's just tragic when we see things like that, especially in the way that it was. All the students there, everybody watching it on TV, it's going to affect them for a long time. Being in the work that I have been in, I've seen a lot of terrible things, but man, that was just over the top. So it's a horrible thing to, again, whether you agree with him or not, I think he is a person that was just expressing his beliefs, and no one should be killed for that. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hill.
I have nothing tonight.
Okay. Commissioner Sutherland.
Just a couple things. I want to also agree with Commissioner Decker on what's going on in the world. And I was watching today a little bit on the news, and there is a subgroup. I know it sounds like a conspiracy thing, but there's a subgroup of people that play games all day long, and they have communications which aren't caught in the normal realm of seeing what's bad and good and adversarial to where they can be found out. And that's one way that these people were communicating. And I don't think it was just one person. They say that there's up to 20 people that knew or was told or was part of this whole thing before, during, and after. And that's sad. And they're all, not all, but just about all really young people that's got no salt in their ass. They have no idea what the world's about yet. Unfortunately, this is going to come to an end for some of them. The other thing I want to touch base on is the electrical charges for everybody. Be careful what you wish for, folks. You know, the coal companies put all the scrubbers and put millions and billions of dollars in making everybody happy, and then they changed the rules and sped the rules up to where the coal-fired plants were shut down and the gas-fired plants were shut down, and now the windmills are, and the solar panels are reaping more money than they ever could before if it was on a level playing ground. So I think that we need to get back to basics. If they can bring a nuclear plant online, bringing 3 semis in to a construction zone and run a factory safely, I think that we should be looking hard at that for towns of our size, that we get away from depending on the solar and the wind farms if they're not going to allow gas and coal to be a backup at least to keep our costs down. I'm done.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Mingus.
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Very good. So land's here. So I am going to make a few comments this evening. The events from last week, actually prior to those events last week that Commissioner Decker has referenced, a lot of things have been weighing on me. You go on social media, anyone that's on social media, if you haven't jumped on social media, I encourage you to stay off it. Your life will be so much better for it. I can promise you that. But for those of us that are on there, I don't know, the last few months, my news feed has been loaded with elected people, state, federal, doesn't matter, constant hate speech, political rhetoric, negativity, 5-6 posts a day. I don't even follow these people. To the point where I decided that in this next issue of the East Peoria Hometown Voice, I do a letter every month for them, that I was going to do an article on civility, bringing civility back in government. I submitted that to the editor the Thursday prior to Labor Day, because this has been weighing on me for quite some time, and I felt an obligation to finally speak up about it. And then when you know, that doesn't come out until it just came out this week, I believe, in the newspaper. It doesn't get published until 2 weeks after that. The events last week, obviously very tragic, senseless, coward, heart full of hate over a difference in beliefs. As a society, we're in a bad place. And so my ask, and I decided to go on social media and share prior to the publication of the East Peoria Hometown Voice what I had written, in hopes that those words can get out there and we can start changing the way we do things as a society here, bring civility and respect back. And one of the things that I mentioned leading up to sharing that article was talking about how East Peoria, for nearly 2 decades, has done that. And Mayor Mingus sat in this chair for 12 years, and when he became mayor in 2007, Commissioner Decker was first elected, along with 3 other individuals on their first term, and they signed this pledge. It's a pledge card, and it's the first non-formal action you take on your first night of being swearing in. And ever since then, every council since 2007, every elected official has signed this, and I shared what that pledge reads. This is my card, and this is the individuals that sit up here with me that we signed, I believe it was May 7th of 2019, when we were first elected together. And this hangs behind me in the office. But I decided to share that because now you see IML came out with a civility pledge that they had drafted for municipalities in hopes that, and this is months ago they did this, in hopes that more and more elected officials could set a more positive example at our level. It starts here. And I have always felt that strongly. I've sat up here and criticized policy at the state level. I don't know that I've ever criticized anything at the federal level. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. It doesn't matter. But one thing I never did was disrespect anyone or make it personal. And the thing I have appreciated about every one of these gentlemen sitting up here is we don't always agree on everything. And I always say that's okay. That's why people elect us. And sharing ideas and having, civil discourse and talking things through and not always agreeing, but at the end of the meeting, you leave it right here. And then you continue to be respectful of each other. And you don't criticize, you don't make it personal. And that's one thing that I hope resonates with a lot of people. And I felt strongly enough to share that on social media, and I had the Journal-Star reach out within 10 minutes of that post, asking if they could publish that in their opinion piece. I had no problem with that. I mean, it's out there. I put it out there publicly for all to see, hoping that it would catch on. And, it's just time to quit with the divide. I mean, I look back, we talk to our kids about this all the time. Go back 30 years ago, and our lives were not consumed with politics. Government kind of stayed in its lane. Yeah, it was out there, and people agree and disagree, and people had their positions and their party favorites and all that. But man, I mean, it is all consuming in every facet of our everyday lives. And I can promise you, these people that push out this rhetoric and this hate and this disdain for somebody else that's registered on the other side of the aisle or doesn't share in their beliefs, it's gone way too far. And I think it's up to us to set a more positive example. And I ask everyone out there to do the same. And I sure hope we've all learned a lot of lessons here. I don't know what the future holds, but we've got to start somewhere, people, and I'm just begging you to be the better person. We need to lead by example. Doesn't mean you have to agree, doesn't mean you can't share your ideas and whatnot, and disagree respectfully, but my gosh, man, there's just no excuse for what happened last week. I don't care what your beliefs are, what side of the aisle you're on. We all have a obligation as human beings, as citizens, as Americans to do better. So there you have it. Seek a motion to adjourn.
Well said, sir. Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn until Tuesday evening, October 7th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus? Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. We're adjourned until we meet again.